YouTube frogs, this is straight direct rip from a Twitch stream. I'm not editing anything. I'm not going to spruce this up. What you see is what you would see if you were watching this over at Twitch. And I do this regularly during the live streams, but I think for VMAX Climax, it's important that I do one of these and chronicle it. I don't always bring these discussions over and throw them over here at YouTube because, you know, sometimes they're not that interesting. This one I think is pretty interesting because I'm making it, but it's interesting for a few points and important because I've been on YouTube for about a year and a bit now, and that's not an awful long time, but I know how Pokemon YouTube works. It's all about getting hyped and just firing everybody up, and that's fine. It's fun to be excited, and I've spoken about this a lot. Without sounding like a negative Nancy, it just fucking creates baggage, and it's the same operators on YouTube every single time, just pulling numbers out of their ass and saying, X card's worth this much. Fucking this Charizard's worth that much, and it's just bullshit, and I'm over it. So I'm using VMAX Climax as my case study for today, and what I'm looking at right now is the Card Rush website. If you've been watching any of my videos, and there are some other YouTubers and content creators that sometimes do reference Card Rush, but if you don't know what it is, I'll explain it. It's basically a card single store in Japan. They've got physical stores in Japan, but they also sell a lot of the singles online. They don't ship worldwide, which is important, but they do ship to Japanese addresses, obviously, duh. And you can log in and ship it to a proxy address. So if you use something like Tenso or Blackship, any of those services, or if you use global shipping here, which is on the website, you can see it pops up. That's a little bit more expensive, but the point is they ship these cards around the world. So if you want these single cards, you can buy them. Now, day one card prices on Card Rush are always crazy because, you know, it's very speculative. You don't know how much a card is worth until everything sort of settles and the hype goes away and you get a good feel for how much stock of the card there is, how many cards are floating about. Card Rush, like I said, they've got physical stores, so they buy cards off people that are selling them, and then obviously they need to sell them for more than they buy them for, otherwise they don't make any money. So you're buying secondhand cards, but they also open up boxes on day one before the set comes out. So maybe they get their stock, and yeah, then they list the cards that they've opened and then sell them on the website. And they can do that because their profit margin is there. They know that day one, when there's no price point, when the price hasn't settled and there's no secondary market price point, they dictate the price, and that's fine. I don't care that stores like this do that because that's how they operate on day one. And if you've been watching any of my videos over the last 4 months, you will know that, you know, the best thing you can do is not buy on day one because it's very speculative, and that is what is happening. Literally, like Momaz just said, the price is because he said so. Joe, I will not start over, but I'm using VMAX Climax as a reference point for today because price because I said so. Mo, I'm so glad you said that. Price because I said so. Literally, price I pulled out of my ass. And there's two, I guess, characters doing that. There's stores, which, like I said, that's how they make their money. And if you're aware of it, you can dodge it. But then there's also people that are just looking for content. And I think the next week or two, and maybe after I make this video and people see it, they won't make these videos and I'll be like, thank fuck, it worked. But in the next week or two, you're gonna see, oh my God, what's the rarest fucking CSR or CHR? Top 10 most valuable cards from this set. Rah, 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 make money. Which should you invest in? And I'm just here to say, don't buy into it because it's bullshit. This is the most stocked Japanese set in, I guess I'm gonna say 2021. This has been stocked to the brim. There are so many cards out there. There are so many boxes. You can still buy it for retail on day one despite all the hype surrounding this set. And I'm going to show you why I know that. Because I'm going to scroll down away from the chase cards in this set and just look at some of these CHR cards. These are the character rares, okay? And from what we understand so far, you find 3, 4 of these in a box. Now, you look at some of these character rares and you can see on Card Rush's website, they show how many of them are actually in stock. You know, you see 140 for the Appleton, Gardevoir's got 80, Bannett's got 79. Those are pretty healthy numbers. And this is late. This is the end. This is the night in Japan. So the set's been out for about 10, 12 hours now. And these have gone out of stock and then restocked. Gone out of stock and restocked. I can tell you this because I've been looking at it all day. But have a look at cards like Jolteon character rare, Flareon character rare, and Vaporeon character rare. You can see here, 580 yen. That's so cheap. Okay? That is insanely cheap. Just a few bucks. Correct, Jace? Just a few bucks. And The reason why they're so cheap is because the stores know that there are a lot of these cards, and there's a surplus of these cards because there are so many boxes, and there are 3 of these CHR cards in a box, and there's about 20 to 30 CHRs, not CSRs. Character super rares are separate. There's 1 per box, but there's 3 CHRs per box, which means for the amount of boxes that are out there, which is a bucket load, there's a bucket load of these CHRs. Card stores know this, and they know that collectors and people opening the sets also know this. So they know that they can't sell the CHRs for too much because they know, everybody knows that there's just too many of them, and they know that, you know, 10 or 15 bucks is overpriced and they're not going to buy it. So they have no option but to sell it for cheap. The other reason is they can't buy it off you. You know, how could they buy it off you for 1,000 yen? If they buy it off you for 1,000 yen, they've got to sell it for like 1,500 yen to make their profit margin. But no one's going to buy it for 1,500 yen, so they won't buy it off you for 1,000 yen. There are a lot of character rares. So if you see anybody talking about the most valuable character rares, just bust this video out and show them this capture in time, this point in time for Card Rush, to see that at this point in time, there is so many of them, and they're not going to go up in price because they can't, because there's just so much supply. And there are so many boxes of this set. If I can really quickly, seamlessly pull up a tweet, can I stall for just 15 quick seconds? I'm going to pop it up. Yes, I can. Here it comes. This is just 1 store in Japan. Look at how much stock that is. That's just 1 store. You've got easily 100 plus boxes here. Plus you've got 3 cases on the left there. Those 3 cases have got 20 boxes each in them. So you're looking at 60. I can see the corner of one there. 80 boxes plus this fucking wall. There's like 200, 300 boxes here. That's just 1 store on day 1. 1 store in Japan, okay? There is so much stock of this set. It is laughable. So for that reason, no, these cards aren't going to be super expensive, and they won't be for a long time when there's that much stock out there and so many people know that there's that much stock out there. That's why I'm making this video, so that you can watch it, share it, and people are aware that, hey, no, these aren't that rare. Don't get grifted by somebody trying to flip the cards for a bunch of money outside of Japan, in the West, you know, in the US, in Australia, whatever. There is so many of them, okay? But that's just the CHRs. Maybe they're not the most popular cards. Okay, that's fine, I understand, because you get 3 in a box. What about the rare cards? What about the 1 per box cards? The stuff like the full art trainers. Well, okay, the same thing sort of always happens for high class packs. It happened especially last year with Shiny Star V. The full art trainers that aren't as popular, always super cheap, but that's to be expected. You look at stuff like the Cook, your Opal, the Mustard card, the Coffee Master Guy, Milo, you know, Gordy, these are all like $10 cards, 10, you know, 8 US, 10 Australian. They're super cheap, and they will stay that cheap for the longest time. There's gonna be a lot of those cards. If you want to buy them now, you probably can. They're not going to get much cheaper than that, but you probably could find them cheaper if you look at stuff like Mercari, Yahoo Japan's. It's just getting them is a bit harder when you got to use more expensive proxy services. So we scroll up and we look at some of the more expensive cards. Let's go straight to the top, and I've sorted by most expensive to least. So you can see straight up what the chase card here is, and yes, it's Galar Friends. That is the card that everybody was sort of expecting was going to come, and here it is. I think it's by Sanosuke Sakuma, not by Naoki Saito, but it doesn't matter because it's a really cool card. But straight up, this is the chase card, 17,800 yen. Now, I know what you're saying, that's maybe not too expensive considering you're only probably getting 1 SR every 2 boxes from what we understand so far, and that's a super popular card. Maybe I should buy it now, and maybe you should. Maybe if that's at your price point and you want to buy it now, you're comfortable with it, that's the price you pay. But if money's an issue for you and you know, you're trying to get as many cards as you can with the money that you've got, I wouldn't buy it now because I think it's going to drop lower. Why do I think that? Well, Julian, my name's Julian, by the way. Julian, you're out here saying other people are pulling numbers out of their ass, and what, you're pulling a thought out of your ass? Not necessarily, because if I drip back to my example before, where I'm talking about how many character rares there are, the same thing is the same thing applies to these chase cards, because for every box that's getting open, you know, every 2 boxes you're going to find one of these SR cards. And yeah, granted, there are less than the CHRs, but you're going to find one of these character rare cards, okay? And the only thing making this be expensive, or keeping this thing expensive, is people's perception of it. Now, I spoke about this afternoon, and I said, you know, There's a little bit of history behind this card because the Alola Friends was a popular card and was super expensive. But that's basically it. Like, it's a fun card and it's got that relationship with the older card, but that's basically propping it up. Then you move to cards like Gloria. This one's by Naoki Saito, and the only thing propping that card up, in my opinion, is the fact that it's by Naoki Saito. So again, I don't think that's going to hold up for longer. I think that's going to come down because there are a lot of those cards. While there won't be as many people selling them because it's a rarer card and then people want to hold on to them because they're more popular, that'll bring the supply down. For the amount of boxes of this set that are out there, I think it's going to bring it down eventually over time, okay? So again, fast forward to telling everyone there is heaps of stock and don't FOMO. It just comes back to this. But the point of this video is to just capture this period, this day one, you know, in a video so we can come back and look at it later. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm entirely wrong. But I know for the next week or two, everyone's going to talk about the cards to get. What's the chase card? Rah, rah, rah. Fact is, there really isn't. There really isn't like a particular get it now and make your money card because there's so many boxes out there. There's so many of these cards that it don't matter. And I'm seeing these drop. And the funny thing is that Card Rush is actually on the more expensive side of the spectrum. These aren't even the prices right now. They're actually cheaper than what we're seeing right now. And I'm not going to share the website because maybe I'm an asshole, but I don't want to influence things the other way. I'm happy with Card Rush staying an expensive website because everybody knows what Card Rush is. Let it stay that way. Maybe you could say the reverse, and then if more people knew about the websites, whether these Japanese cards are cheaper, that maybe it'll help dilute the market overall, and then that would bring the prices of Card Rush down. But, you know, without pointing fingers, I feel like some of these stores play funny buggers, especially the ones that know that they've got international eyes looking at them. And I feel like maybe this one is one of those websites because some of these prices don't make sense. I'm seeing the CSR Pikachu, this one here, right? Oh, this is gonna load. Yeah, I'm seeing this one here for 2,000 yen for sale, right? Which I think is an awesome price, you know, like 25 bucks. You get this awesome Pikachu CSR with red in it, and Pikachu's front and center. That's why I like this card so much. But that's already $10, you know, 1,000 yen cheaper on another website. Am I gonna share that website? Probably not, because like I said, then, you know, fucking people are gonna just flock to these websites and buy all the cards. And the people that know already know, and the people that are doing that, they've already done it. But they can keep buying down. They can keep dollar cost averaging down because these cards are common. They are common because that's the whole point of this set. So people that are saying, what's the rarest card? It's literally just the Galar Friends. It actually sold out. It actually sold out while I was doing this bit. That's fucking hilarious. It is the Galar Friends because of the perception of the card. But, you know, when you look at other cards in the set that are rare, like from a hard to find point of view, okay, the Pikachu, the VMAX Pikachu Gold, the UR, is harder to find because apparently it's, you know, 2 of those UR cards per case. So for every 20 boxes, you're only going to find 2 of these UR cards. That's objectively rarer than the other chase cards out there because it's harder to find. So how is that worth so much less? Because these card prices are fucking coming out of thin air right now because they can just dictate the flow of the market. They can just dictate the flow of prices. You know, the Rayquaza, 4,000 yen. The Mew, 4,500 yen. The Calyrexes, they're 2,800. They're actually rarer. They're harder to find. It's just that people don't like them as much. So whatever the perception for these chase cards is going to dictate them. And the videos that are going to come out, the discussion, the rhetoric that's going to come out where it's like, oh, you got to buy them now, like buy them soon, or, you know, buy them before they sell out, or what's the top 10 cards to invest in, rah, 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 rah. Listen, I don't care. Watch the videos because that's what YouTube is. Watch all the Pokemon videos. It helps every Pokemon content creator. The more Pokemon videos are watched, everyone benefits. Watch them, but take them with a grain of salt. Just like you should take this one with a grain of salt. Unless, you know, we swing back and it turns out JLUV was totally right, and then we look back at this video as the greatest video ever produced on the platform. But take them with a grain of salt because you will lose money. You will lose money. I don't talk about FOMO because it's a fun talking point. I talk about it because when you get sucked in by it, you lose money. And then when you lose money, you get disappointed. And when you're disappointed, you leave the hobby. And this is the best time to be a card collector. And I don't like seeing people leave the hobby. It sucks. It's boring to see. And I hate it when someone's like, oh, I stopped collecting because it got too expensive. You actually feel like an asshole when you are buying and collecting cards and someone leaves the hobby because they can't afford it. You feel like some kind of rich prick. Like, damn, how privileged am I? It's rough. So yeah, I'm saying don't leave the hobby so that I don't feel like an asshole. That's what it kind of sounds like, but it's not what I mean. What I'm saying is, I don't like seeing you guys get burned, and I just know what's going to happen the next week. So I just want to get this out here, and I'll probably revisit this in like 2 weeks time, and I'll be like, was I wrong? Was I right? And it'll be kind of funny either way. But again, I think this is going to be stocked forever because Shiny Star V, which I've said this fucking 1,000,001 times. I'm going to say it one last time. Everybody said Shiny Star V wasn't going to come back, and then it did. And then you know what happened to every Shiny Star V price? It tanked. They all tanked. If we look at it right now, you can just have a quick gaze for yourself. These card prices tanked hard. 12,800 yen for the shiny Charizard VMAX. Super cheap compared to where it was. 7,000 yen for the Charizard V shiny. 7,000 yen. And there's 270, 244. Holy fuck, there is so many in stock. They cannot give these things away. The Marnie came back in stock because there's more boxes and the price plummeted. Makes sense. But god damn, Daniel, these cards are so cheap. And everything that's not Charizard or Marnie, fucking, it's just at the bottom. It's just, look at this. Like, it's just so cheap. So how can I take any of the cards from this set and their prices seriously? I can't. I just look at them now. I'm like, they are what they are. If you're okay with paying them, pay them, go for your life, whatever. I ain't gonna diss you. But if you're on a knife's edge with your money, or you're trying to get the most out of your money and get the most cards you can with your money, just be a little more patient because day one prices always suck. And yeah, if you are just collecting Pokemon only for the money, like T2 Shine TV just said, then you're gonna get burned. You're gonna get burned. And I've gotten burned many times this year, as in like I've lost money on things I've bought because they've gotten cheaper, but I don't care because I'm not collecting for the money. I don't care. I care like a fucking tiny little bit, like, would it be nice? But it's not gonna financially ruin me. It's not like I will never financially recover from this. It's just like, well, I could have gotten an extra one, or I could have gotten a different card. So just, this is the video. Just fucking share this with as many people as you can and show them that these prices are coming out of thin air right now. And anybody making a list saying what's most expensive or most rare is just doing it because it's content. And all the power to them. Make it. It's entertainment. Make some popcorn. Put your feet up on the couch. Watch it at 2 times. But don't take anything more out of it. You know, there's a reason why they all say I'm not a financial advisor. It's because they know they're talking shit and they don't want to be accountable for when they fuck you over. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Come and watch over at Twitch so you can see when I do these live. I usually talk with people, but this one I just wanted to spit out and yell at you guys. Thanks for watching, chat. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Till the next one.